Hello and welcome to Liberty and Gun Rights Podcast. My name is James Moffett. Today is December the 10th, Tuesday, December the 10th, 2024, and I'll be your host. So today is going to be episode 37, and we're going to be talking about gun rights overview for the last, 24 hours, or just recently, the last gun news rights that I could find. And I also want to go over some pre-filed bills that were pre-filed in the South Carolina Legislature as of December the 5th, 2024. Before I get into that, however, I would like to show you my latest purchase with regards to firearms, accessories, holsters, belts, etc. I purchased a bellyband holster from We the People Holsters. And it is very quickly becoming my favorite go-to for carrying my everyday carry when I leave the house. So without further ado, I'm going to stand up and show it to you. So I'm going to lose my face, but that's fine. This is Walter. My wife says that I'm very much like him. When I get old enough, I'll be a greeter at Walmart. And I'll say, get your shit and get out. And then they'll fire me, and I'll go find a job somewhere else. Anyhow, this is the, you can't see it, because I've got this on. If I take this off, then you'll see it. We the People Holsters, okay? And as you can see, it's a belly band holster. You can wear it higher, or I like to carry it down here by my waist. And it's a size 54, so since I've lost quite a bit of weight, it actually fits me. I was a little bit afraid it might not fit me. So you can, this is a kind of a wallet that you can unzip, right? You put credit cards, debit cards, your driver's license, what have you. And I don't have this on my person. I don't wear this when I'm wearing it because I don't need to. I carry a regular wallet, but I just wanted to show it to you. So it also has a nice little pouch right here for your cell phone. So I'll put my iPhone in there, right? And then it's got the place for the holster. This is a Walther CCP. I bought that for my wife for her to carry, and I've been carrying it a lot lately, just because it's compact. It's a very compact do appendix carry when I'm driving in the car. That way, if I need to, I can get to it very quickly. And then over here, you'll see I've got the magazine. I actually can move it a little closer. That's the magazine that I can get to. It's got a snap on it. Take the snap off. Pull the magazine out. You'll notice I didn't call it a clip because it's not a clip, it's a magazine. It holds 8 rounds, 1 in the chamber. You can carry a full-size firearm in this belly band holster. I have not done that yet. However, this is very snug, so I think it would probably support the weight of the firearm. So I'm going to take this off. I'm going to show you how it comes off. It comes off very easily, right? So there it is, in all of its glory. And I just fold it up, stick it on the table somewhere. I'm going to put it over here on my other table, out of the way. Okay. So anyway, I want to showcase different firearms, different holsters, etc., etc., ammunition, anything's of interest. I'm going to post this on my Spotify blog, or not Spotify blog. I'm going to post it on my Spotify podcast. And so, if you like seeing things like that, you want me to showcase holsters or accessories or ammo or weapons or whatever, just let me know and I'll do it. Because this podcast is for you. It is not for me. I'm doing this for you. And I want to provide you guys and gals with quality, I'm not going to say entertainment, quality content, right? I want my podcast to become a go-to podcast for all things South Carolina gun related. Guns, holsters, accessories, gun laws, prefiled bills, ammo, whatever. All that good stuff, right? So, like I said earlier, today I'm going to be going over recent gun rights news in South Carolina and prefiled bills in the South Carolina Legislature as of today, which is as of December the 5th, which was last week. So, latest news related to gun rights in South Carolina. Student sues South Carolina College. A student is suing Horry Georgetown Technical College after being suspended for a gun-related social media post. The lawsuit claims the college violated her free speech rights. In the lawsuit, student alleges college had problems with blasted comment target practice video. A student is suing her South Carolina college, alleging the institution violated her free speech rights by suspending her for a gun-related social media post. In the lawsuit, student Leigh Lemoyne said Horry Georgetown Technical College wrongly suspended her in September. The Sun News reports. The two-year public college is based in Conway, South Carolina. The cosmetology student alleges college administrators began investigating her after a classmate reported a Snapchat post in which Lemoyne, Lemoine, told someone to get blasted, according to the report. Administrators determined the comment was not threatening after Lemoyne told them she had no intentions to harm anyone, the lawsuit states. However, they later decided to suspend her after finding an unrelated Instagram post from before she was enrolled where she was firing a handgun, according to the report. In today's climate, your failure to disclose the existence of the video in conjunction with group text message on Snapchat where you use the term blasted causes concern about your ability to remain in the current cosmetology cohort, the college stated in a letter informing her of her suspension, according to the lawsuit. Lemoyne stated in the lawsuit that the video, which she later deleted, shows her doing target practice at a friend's home in 2023. Well, you would think in America that we should be able to do those things, right? After all, guns are not evil. The Sun News reports more. Nicole Hyman, a spokeswoman for HGTC, wrote in a statement that the college seeks to maintain a safe environment for all of its students, employees, and visitors. This suit seeks to challenge the manner in which the college has done this, she wrote. While the college respects all individuals' rights, including their rights to freedom of expression, the college's priority is to ensure the well-being and security of the entire campus community. Despite the apparent safety concerns, it's not clear whether or not HDTC ever contacted law enforcement about Lemoyne's posts. The lawsuit doesn't mention any police involvement, and Hyman did not confirm any law enforcement contact before publication. Lemoyne, who was receiving financial aid assistance and expected to graduate during summer 2025, is seeking a court order to immediately lift the suspension and no trespass order so that she can complete her current courses. Other students also have accused their schools of punishing them for posting gun-related content on social media, including a Chinese immigrant student at Fordham University. Additionally, in 2021, the University of Virginia canceled the traditional 21-gun salute portion of its Veterans Day ceremony, citing gun violence. The College Fix reported. Oh my God, gun violence. I am so sick of hearing that terminology. Gun violence, it's an epidemic. It's a public health epidemic. In other news, there was a tragic shooting incident. A 15-year-old boy died after being accidentally shot by a group playing with a loaded handgun. I'll say that again. A 15-year-old boy died after being accidentally shot by a recruit playing with a loaded handgun. It didn't accidentally go off. It was a negligent discharge. Nobody should be playing with a handgun. Where were the parents? Where were the guardians? Who was responsible for this 15-year-old and the group of whoever it was that was playing with a handgun? 2 people have been arrested in connection with the incident. So 2 people have been arrested in the shooting death of a 15-year-old South Carolina boy, according to the Cherokee County Sheriff's Office. The shooting happened at 12:31 p.m. on November the 22nd at a home on McGowan's Mountain Road in Gaffney, Sheriff Steve Mueller said. The boy was found with a gunshot wound and flown to Spartanburg Regional Medical Center with critical injuries. He died on November the 26th, Mueller said. Cherokee County Coroner Dennis Fowler said he is not releasing the boy's name due to his age. Mueller said on Wednesday that a woman and her grandson were arrested on Tuesday and charged in the shooting. Christopher Bryan James Ray, 20, is facing charges of manslaughter and possession of a weapon during a violent crime, Mueller said. He said Carol Jackson Ray, 66, was charged with obstructing justice. Mueller said numerous people were at the shooting scene when deputies arrived. He said Ray, as well as others at the scene, told deputies the shooting was a suicide. Investigators later determined that it was a lie, Mueller said. He said some of the people at the scene told deputies they were playing with a handgun when the shooter accidentally shot the boy. Then several conspired to try and report the shooting as a suicide and even had the audacity to move the gun closer to the victim, Mueller said. It's a sad world when people try to stage a suicide because of their carelessness and recklessness while playing with a loaded handgun, resulting in a tragic death, Mueller said. It is our hope that they get all the justice they deserve when they have their day in court. The investigation is still active, and anyone with more information is asked to call 864-489-4722, extension 126. Wow. Here's another glaring example of why gun safety rules should be adhered to at all times. Handguns, shotguns, rifles, long guns. If it's a weapon and it has a projectile and you can fire a round out of that thing, these are not toys. These are not to be trifled with. They're deadly weapons, and handled correctly, they'll never go off and they'll never harm anybody. Playing with a loaded gun is just insanity. All right. Latest gun legislation bills in South Carolina. Now, these are pre-filed bills in the State House in Columbia, South Carolina, as of December the 5th. I'm just going to read the summary of these bills. You can go on legiscan.com, or you can go on something I found which is called, let me find it. It's called fastdemocracy.com. That's called fastdemocracy.com. And you can choose your keywords, and you can automatically track these bills. And there's a free offering. You don't have to pay anything for it. And of course, to get the premium content, there's a professional version of this. That's fastdemocracy.com. So HC 3031 is to amend the South Carolina Code of Laws by amending Section 1611-420 relating to intent and findings of the General Assembly relating to the article commonly referred to as Stand Your Ground, so as to include places of worship, by amending Section 1611-430 relating to definitions for purposes of Stand Your Ground provisions, so as to define the term place of worship, and by amending Section 1611-440 relating to the presumption of reasonable fear of imminent peril when using deadly force against another unlawfully entering a residence, occupied vehicle, or place of business, so as to include places of worship in the purview of the statute. All right, let me see. Where was I at? All right, we just talked about HC 3031, where they're going to add places of worship to that bill. 1611-420. The next one is HC 3041, a bill to amend the South Carolina Code of Laws by amending Section 162350 relating to penalties for violations of certain offenses involving weapons so as to include assault weapons in the purview of the statute. Increase the penalties for a violation and create a two-tiered penalty scheme by amending Section 1623.10 relating to definitions for purposes of the article so as to define the term assault weapon, by amending Section 1623.220, 1622.3.230, and 1623.240, all relating to the unlawful transportation, storing, keeping, or possessing and sale, rental, or giving away of machine guns, military firearms, sawed-off shotguns, or rifles, respectively, so as to include assault weapons in the list of weapons banned by the provisions of the statutes. By adding Article 9 to Chapter 31, Title 23, so as to provide that it's unlawful to sell or give a firearm to a person whose name appears on the terrorist watch list, and to provide a penalty for a person who violates this provision. So, if your uncle, grandmother, aunt, father-in-law, son-in-law, if they're on the terrorist watch list, if this bill passes, you better not sell them or give them a gun. I'm not sure how a private citizen would find out that somebody is on the terrorist watch list. So anyway, they pre-filed that bill and they're trying to get that passed. H3180, a bill to amend the South Carolina Code of Laws by amending Section 1623.210 relating to definitions for purposes of the article so as to define the term assault weapon and high-capacity magazines, and to amend Section 1623.220, 1623.230, and 1623.240. I know your eyes are probably rolling back. All relating to the unlawful transportation, storing, keeping, or possessing and sale, rental, or giving away of machine guns, military firearms, sawed-off shotguns, or rifles, respectively, also as to include assault weapons and high-capacity magazines in the list of items banned by the provision of the statutes. That's very, very similar to HC 3041. H3053 is the third one, a bill to amend the South Carolina Code of Laws by amending Section 16160 relating to offenses defined as violent crimes so as to include the offense of discharging or causing to be discharged firearms at or into a dwelling house, other building, structure, or enclosure regularly occupied by persons. Well, I would swear there was already a bill. Isn't that already a law? I don't know. Let's see. The next one is H3143, a bill to amend the South Carolina Code of Laws by adding sections 24, or adding section 2421.925 so as to provide limited pardons may be granted to persons who have been convicted of felony offenses that are not considered crimes of violence, that would allow them to possess firearms for the purpose of hunting only, and to provide an application fee. So if that law is passed, a felon can possess a firearm for the purpose of hunting only. I wonder if that means if they use it in self-defense, if they get prosecuted and go back to prison. I don't know. I know there's a lot of debate and a lot of angst for people that have been convicted of felonies, and they've been in prison, they've done their time, they paid their debts to society, and now that they're back out, they can't own a firearm. I know a lot of people are looking to, I'm not an attorney, okay, so this is not This is not legal advice or commentary. This is my opinion. But I know there are a lot of people that, we'll just say there are attorneys out there that are there that know gun laws in South Carolina that can help people that are trying to get their CWP, and because they can't get their CWP because there's something on their record that's keeping them from doing it. Whether that can be expunged or removed is totally up to the attorney and how they move forward with that case particularly. Anyway, here's another one, H3 283. A bill to amend the South Carolina Code of Laws by amending Section 1623-420 relating to possession of firearms on school property and concealed weapons so as to delete the restrictions placed on holders of concealed weapon permits on carrying firearms on post-secondary school properties, and to make technical changes and by amending Section 1623-20 relating to unlawful carrying of handguns and exceptions so as to delete the restriction placed on the carrying of weapons into college athletic events. I found this pre-filed bill very interesting. I hope that it passes. So anyway, these are 5 pre-filed bills that I'm going to track, and that you can track as well. You can get email updates or text messages. You can download the Legiscan of South Carolina Legislature app onto your phone, Android or iOS. Go to the App Store and download it, install it, and you can search for bills to your little heart's content. You can put in keywords like firearm, rifle, pistol, handgun, whatever, gun violence, and it will search all the pre-filed bills and give you a list. And you can request to track them, and you'll be in the know. You'll know more than a lot of people. But anyway, I'm hoping that HC 3031, HC 3041, H 3180, H 3053, H 3143, H 3283. Those are 5 bills that are pre-filed, and they went to the Senate Judiciary Committee to debate. All right, moving on. Latest federal gun legislation bills. Bipartisan Safer Communities Act. This significant piece of legislation passed in 2022 continues to be a focal point in 2024. It includes measures such as tougher background checks for buyers under 21, funding for mental health programs and school security upgrades, and incentives for states to implement red flag laws. Incentives for states to implement red flag laws. So if South Carolina implements a red flag law, they will get federal funding to use towards that, towards the execution of those red flag laws. And if you're like me, you're like, oh, hell no, we are not going to watch that thing pass. And that is absolutely something that should be on our radar as Second Amendment activists and as the protectors of the Second Amendment, legal gun owners. We should be paying attention to that. And I know that organization, South Carolina Carry, that I'm a part of, is keeping an eye on these pre-filed bills, and they are posting blog posts and sending out MailChimp email alerts to all their members when something like that starts to gain traction. So join South Carolina Carry. Yeah, this is an advertisement. Join South Carolina Carry for the cost of $25. You can be put on. You can have skin in the game for the price of a large pizza. You can join South Carolina Carry for $25, and what that does is it adds your email address to the email alert system, and when a blog post is put on the website, or I'm going to go ahead and say our website since I'm part of South Carolina Carry. I'm a board member, have been since 2015. So I can say our website, and you'll get alerted. There at 6 o'clock the next morning, you'll get an email alert, and you'll get an action alert. It'll tell you about the pre-filed bill, or it'll tell you about whatever's going on, and tell you what the action item is, which is typically call your representative, text your representative, leave a message on their switchboard, email them, write them a letter, send them a postcard, go visit them at their office during business hours. Anyway, Medicaid Funds Integrity Act. Introduced by Representative Andrew Clyde, this bill aims to prohibit the use of Medicaid dollars for gun violence prevention programs. Critics argue that Medicaid funds should be reserved for direct medical services. I agree. While proponents see these programs as essential for addressing the root causes of gun violence. Again, the terminology, gun violence. Ghost gun regulation. We're talking about federal legislation here. The Biden administration has been working on regulations to address ghost guns. Case in point, the killer that shot the CEO of United Healthcare, they confiscated the weapon, a weapon that appeared to be the weapon that was possibly used in this crime. He's been arraigned. I'm sure he's in jail. Hopefully he'll have his day in court. Anyway, the weapon they found was quote unquote a ghost gun. A ghost gun is something that you can create with a 3D printer. It doesn't have a serial number. You don't have to go to an FFL and fill out the appropriate legal forms in order to purchase it. You just print the sucker up in your house, your garage, and use it for whatever you want to use it for. Hopefully for target shooting or hunting or anything other than murdering another human being, right? So, ghost guns, firearms without serial numbers that can be assembled from kits or 3D printed. The administration has issued executive orders to combat these emerging threats and improve school-based active shooter drills. Pistol stabilizing braces ban. This shouldn't be a surprise or really news to any of you here in South Carolina. But anyway, a federal panel of the 5th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals recently ruled that the ATF's new rule on pistol stabilizing braces was finalized without giving the public enough chance to comment, making the ban invalid under the Federal Administrative Procedure Act. This ruling is currently being reviewed by a district judge in Texas, and I want to say that law was overturned, and of course any law that's overturned can always go to an appellate court, and who knows, we could be staring this thing in the face again before you know it. Hopefully not. I know there are organizations that are fighting that and other things. Let's see, if you can't get what you need from me, from Liberty and Gun Rights Podcast, there are other sources out there. Let's see, new episodes from Top Gun related podcasts. Gun Talk Radio. They have new episodes discussing recent gun legislation and gun rights issues. The Gun Show. Episodes covering the latest news and opinions on gun rights and gun control. New episodes from top Second Amendment related podcasts. The Second Amendment podcast has episodes focusing on recent legal cases and legislative updates related to the Second Amendment. Armed American Radio, episodes discussing current events and advocacy efforts related to gun rights. Articles from top gun rights related websites. Of course, National Rifle Association is on the list. Articles on recent legislative efforts and court cases affecting gun rights. Gun Owners of America, which I'm a member of. That NAGR. Updates on new laws and advocacy efforts to protect gun rights. Videos from top gun rights related YouTube producers. Kulinar, Noir, Noir, I don't know how to pronounce that. videos discussing recent gun rights issues and legislative updates. I have to say, one day I can only hope that my podcast will look as professional as his. I'm sure he has funding way beyond the funds that I have to do some of the stuff that he does on his podcast, but I would highly recommend going to listen to his podcast. Go to YouTube, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and subscribe to Colin Noir, and watch his podcast episodes. They're wonderful. The Daily Wire, videos covering news and analysis on gun rights and gun control. All right. So, where's my... I'm looking for something. Hold on. Here we go. In summary, I want to say thank you for the privilege of your time. Our podcast is hosted on Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. Be sure to share our podcast with your Second Amendment friends, family, and co-workers. As a side note, I am working with somebody to get a new, improved podcast logo, banner, graphic for Apple Podcasts. I have another podcast called Parenting Adult Children, ABCs of Parenting Adult Children, and it is on Apple Podcasts, and 63% of my viewership comes from Apple Podcasts. So it's pretty hot over on Apple. So I'm going to add this podcast to Apple once I get everything set up, right? You can contact us at Liberty Gun Rights Podcast at proton.me. That's Liberty Gun Rights Podcast at proton.me. Thank you for listening to today's episode, and goodbye for now. Bye-bye.